Older readers may remember me, the first face of the Inland Revenue, as voiced by Sir Alec Guinness. I may be a distant memory, but I never left my desk. The news in the lead-up to this week's budget has been colored by the Paradise Papers, as noted by David Becket in the comments sections when they first hit the headlines, who wondered why they haven't been covered here. Well, in truth, tax policy is quite dull, and the issue of taxation of overseas holdings is rather more complex than is thought. Here are some thoughts, however. Holding funds in offshore accounts isn't, in itself, a problem. As long as the funds are declared to the proper authority, and taxed at the appropriate rate, you can hold funds wherever you like. The more interesting question is, why are the funds held offshore? You may be in search of better returns, using jurisdictions with less onerous regulatory frameworks, where anonymity is the better protected. You may be hiding the funds from partners, business or personal, but that isn't necessarily a crime either. The crime, of course, is not declaring the income from those investments to the proper authority. Ironically, HMRC probably have more access to information across the globe than ever before, with tax information exchange agreements in place with a number of offshore jurisdictions. You'll note that a number of them were signed during the coalition years. And now that HMRC have sought access to the documents that make up the Paradise Papers, one presumes that they'll be using their Connect system to compare the data with individual returns. The penalties for failure to declare offshore income can run up to as much as 200% of the unpaid tax, although past campaigns where individuals are incentivized to disclose their underdeclared income have included reduced penalties. So, we'll see what happens, and we'll see just how much of the money uncovered by the Paradise Papers is hidden. It has to be said that Liberal Democrat policy in this field is not particularly prominent. We will make the wealthiest pay their fair share by clamping down on tax dodging, but the 2013 policy paper on taxation, fair taxes, whilst to some extent made obsolete by later developments, does point towards greater transparency, and pressure on tax havens to open up their banking and corporate structures to easier scrutiny. Better information sharing between jurisdictions, enhanced data sifting and matching tools, greater resourcing for HMRC and more transparency, these are the tools that will allow governments to more effectively attack those who seek the benefits of civilized societies without wishing to make an appropriate contribution towards maintaining them. And there is much at stake, as noted recently by The Economist, commenting on a Scandinavian study which seeks to estimate the level of tax evasion. Whilst Scandinavia has surprisingly low levels of offshore investment, the tax loss climbs steeply as you reach the highest levels of wealth. It demonstrates that with opportunities for hiding capital using easily available technology and some of the sharpest legal and accounting expertise that money can buy, there is a risk that the super-rich will use that power for their own benefit. Governments will have to work collaboratively to counter that. And that includes this one. Read more by Hector Inspector or more about tax evasion or taxation. This entry was posted in Opeds.